We took a look at what is Green Gables here. That is not the Green Gables we all know and love from Prince Edward Island.
For more than a century, readers have enjoyed the adventures of a precocious redhead named Anne. Lucy Maud Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables has sold more than 50 million copies. The iconic version has been adapted a number of times for television and the stage, but as Deanna Sumanak found out, an Ontario couple has uncovered the story of another Anne.
In the 1920s, the author Lucy Maud Montgomery summered here in Bala in the Muskoka region of Ontario. Maud, as she was known, took her meals in a guest house, this house, now a museum devoted to all things Anne. Its owners are Jack and Linda Hutton, and they are passionate about Maud and her Anne of Green Gables books.
Once I got over that purplish prose, and your head gets where she is, you realize she was one of the finest writers that Canada ever had. So I got hooked.
I've never actually thought that she was a children's writer or a young adult writer. She's for everybody.
They have restored their museum to match the period and have filled it with hundreds of Anne of Green Gables artifacts, attracting thousands of tourists. One of their proudest possessions is this piece of sheet music. It took them on an adventure they never anticipated.
We happened to see this music that said Anne of Green Gables, and we bought it and spent just under $1,000, not knowing we were competing, I think, against the National Library of Canada.
Oh, and I kept it. We were bidding for this on eBay, and I just kept egging him on. I said, well, nobody else deserves this music more than we do, because I'm married to this ragtime piano player, and it's Anne of Green Gables. We must have it for a museum.
So that's when a detective story mystery started.
And when they got it, the Huttons made a startling discovery. Their sheet music had been written for a long-lost Hollywood silent movie version of Anne of Green Gables. It was made in 1919 and starred Mary Miles Minter.
She was 17 years old. Some people say the most highly paid actor in Hollywood at the time. And that,
astounding.
You had Charlie Chaplin, you had Buster Keaton.
Mary Pickford.
Mary Pickford.
As they delved deeper into their research, Jack and Linda discovered that no prints of the film had survived.
Linda started discovering more about the movie.
Later, we found a Mary Miles Minter edition of Anne of Green Gables. It had 21 photo stills from that movie. So we started to think, well, we should be using these wonderful pictures. So this was an actual movie still that was used for promotion. The picnic.
They decided to use these rare pictures to bring the silent film back to life. That's where Jack's expertise came in.
When you had the silent movies, a very key part of the whole process was somebody who played either the piano or the organ. There were 4 books written before 1913 or so, telling people what to play. Intensely dramatic scene, plaintive, remorse, lullaby music, you name it, Indian attack. Here is, in my right hand, the sound of the steam whistle.
One problem remained. The film reels were gone and only a handful of still photos remained.
Although it's a silent movie, I didn't have enough pictures to actually just sort of let the story roll without any narration. So I ended up writing a script for it based on the 2 scripts we'd seen and based on sort of gut feeling what was happening.
Since she couldn't tell the complete story with only 21 photos, Linda found pictures from the era to fill in the gaps. And it's that Anne of Green Gables, reimagined by Jack and Linda, that warmed up a cold winter night for the residents of Bala.
Matthew Cuthbert, who's that? Where's the boy?
There wasn't any boy, and I had to bring her home.
This audience was enchanted by Mary Miles Minter's cherubic face beaming at them from the screen. But when Lucy Maud Montgomery saw the original film in 1920, she was not impressed.
I think she said in her diaries that Mary Miles Minter was way too pretty to be Anne. She wasn't the gingery heroine that she wanted.
And ordered the crowd back onto the road in no uncertain terms.
This movie version of Anne was also a rifle-toting heroine, something Maud's Anne would never have done.
It was a question of how long Anne could single-handedly hold them off. Just then, Gilbert arrived at Green Gables.
The end of our movie involves her using a shotgun, and that's just, as Maud would say, blatant Yankeeism. She hated that.
But that was the era. When people went to the perils of Pauline and this sort of thing, they were expecting it to end with the hero or the heroine just about to go through a buzzsaw, lost in a flaming building. So they had to do the same thing with Anne of Green Gables.
But regardless of how Lucy Maud Montgomery might have felt about their project, Jack and Linda Hutton have something to be proud of. In recreating the lost film, they've become more than fans. They've become part of the living, breathing legacy of Anne of Green Gables. Deanna Sumanak, CBC News, Bala, Ontario.